no matter your work, that you are eligible at a certain age for Social Security and Medicare. So what's the debate about? Well, the debate is philosophical, and I'm not even sure what. It's partly my conservative colleagues who generally want to privatize Medicare and Social Security. For them, it seems to be something philosophic or ideological, or sometimes it's just people wanting to support the insurance industry. Because if you privatize Medicare and Social Security, yeah, it'll help the insurance companies. Yeah, it'll help the banks. If you privatize the VA, like many want to do, Veterans Administration, undermining what veterans have earned by serving their country, it may help some private sector corporations. It'll help pad their bottom line. It will help many CEOs make even more money, but it's wrong because, Mr. President, when work has dignity, people have a secure retirement. Veterans have benefits, pensions are protected, Americans can count on Medicare and count on Social Security. A secure retirement shouldn't be a partisan issue. It wasn't a partisan issue, particularly in the 1930s. It's not a partisan issue to the American people. I don't think you can tell a Republican from a Democrat who's 70 years old or 80 years old drawing Social Security and Medicare. They know they've earned it. They paid into it for decades, and as I said, they've earned it. It's one of the most unifying institutions in the country. Americans want to protect Social Security and Medicare. They want to make those programs stronger. Americans do, but elected officials, far too many people on this side of the aisle, as the senator from Connecticut knows, far too many people from this side of the aisle think that we should privatize those programs. They'll be more efficient, or some such philosophical jargon that they throw forward. But we know what will happen is insurance companies will make more money, banks will make more money, and people who have worked in this country and played by the rules all their lives get squeezed.
Friends, this is very serious. Many Americans are demanding action now from the White House. President Biden is meeting with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to discuss a debt ceiling and spending cuts to Social Security. Some Americans may owe the federal government this year due to new legislation. My friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to hear about all of these details. Also, to say thank you for joining me here every day and for being part of this community. I will be announcing 2 winners this Friday for the $75 Walmart gift card giveaways. Friends, please make sure that you click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances, dear friends, of winning these giveaways. This Wednesday, President Biden will meet with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy amid Republicans' debt ceiling showdown with Democrats. The president will host McCarthy at the White House for a discussion on a range of issues as part of a series of meetings with congressional leaders at the start of the new Congress. A White House spokesperson said this Sunday that President Biden will host Kevin McCarthy at the White House for a discussion on a range of issues as part of a series of meetings with congressional leaders at the start of the new Congress. President Biden will discuss his new plans to grow the economy while bringing down the deficit. The president will ask what McCarthy's plan is, noting that the first bill the House Speaker put on the floor would increase the deficit by more than $100 billion. The president also plans to ask Speaker McCarthy if he intends to meet his constitutional obligation to prevent a national default and not put the economic security of all Americans at risk. Speaker Kevin McCarthy has so far said that Republicans would not allow the United States to default and express an interest in reaching an agreement with the president. The U.S. government hit its statutory debt limit earlier this month. The U.S. Treasury Department said it had begun resorting to extraordinary measures to pay the bills and that there was a June 5th deadline to act or risk default. House Republicans have been demanding spending cuts in exchange for lifting the debt ceiling and averting a default on U.S. debt. However, party leaders have not put forward a unified plan to cut any spending, complicating Kevin McCarthy's task of passing a bill with his narrow majority. The White House previously stated there won't be any negotiations, and Congress must allow the government to pay its bills. Democratic leaders in the House and Senate have backed President Biden, demanding that Kevin McCarthy present his plan and pass it through the House before any discussions occur. So McCarthy said in an interview on CBS News that he wants to take cuts to Medicare and Social Security off the table in talks with Democrats over the debt ceiling, even though Republicans do want commitments on spending cuts generally. Instead, McCarthy said Republicans were committed to strengthening these programs. So, dear friends, what do you think will happen to Medicare and Social Security? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Tax season is also back, as the Internal Revenue Service has officially started accepting and processing tax returns as of last week. The IRS has already been warning taxpayers to expect smaller refunds than they received in recent years because of certain crisis-era relief measures rolling back to pre-crisis norms. But there are a few common reasons that could leave you without a refund, or at least a much smaller one. So changes to credits that were enhanced during the crisis are reverting back to pre-crisis amounts. That includes a child tax credit, dependent care credit, earned income credit, the option to deduct charitable donations without itemizing your taxes, and also stimulus payments. Mark Stieber, Chief Tax Information Officer for Jackson Hewitt Tax Services, told reporters today, you could find yourself under withheld if you were counting on those double-sized credits, which won't be here this year. Any big changes in your life, like buying a house or getting married, will impact your taxes. One of the most notable is, of course, changes to your employment status. So if you started a new job in 2022, you may remember completing a Form W-4, which determines how much tax is withheld from your paychecks. Having the most taxes taken out of each paycheck will lead to a refund. Any supplemental wages you earned last year, like bonuses, severance pay, or payments for moving costs, are also subject to income taxes. They are subject to different federal withholding rules based on how much you received. As both Mark Stieber and the Internal Revenue Service recommends, file your taxes early, regardless of whether or not you'll owe money. While the IRS can penalize you for failing to file, it can also penalize you for failing to pay the taxes you owe on time. Taxes you owe are subject to interest and monthly late payment penalties, and this is according to the IRS. Remember, the tax filing deadline this year falls on April 18, 2023. Well, my beautiful and most dearest friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. My friends, thank you so very, very much for joining me here this weekend. And to say thank you and to show my appreciation to all of you, I will be doing weekly giveaways for a Walmart gift card. I'll be announcing 2 winners this Friday. If you'd like to enter the giveaway, all you have to do, friends, is make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. Thank you, my friends, and have a wonderful and very blessed Sunday.